Hello everyone. So now I'm going to explain about a very important statement that is select. It's a very important statement because till this particular point of time, we have learned about how to create databases, how to modify databases, how to create tables, how to delete them, how to insert the data, how to update the data, and how to uh, like undo the data and how to revoke the changes and how to redo it. All these things that we have already covered it till this point, but now this is the time that we must focus on this particular keyword, that is select, with which we can fetch the data. Like whatever you have created till this point of time, you have to use it, right? So if you want to use it, you have to fetch it. Only then you can use it. So this is where we use this select statement. So basically, by definition, what is it? Select is nothing but a statement. Fine. What does it do? It fetches data from different tables. Okay. And after fetching, where does it store the data? It stores the data in a table, which is also called result set. So it fetches the data and stores it in the form of a table, which is also called as result set. So this is what select is all about. And when it comes to the syntax of select, if you want to fetch all the columns from a table, you can use two approaches, that is select individually. You can select column 1, column 2, column 3, and so on. How many columns are present in your table? Those many columns that you have to mention here in your query, select and mention all those columns. And finally, use this from keyword and mention your table name. That's it. You have made it. Finally, you have discovered a way to fetch the entire data from your table. But this is not alone. You also have another method or approach that you can select the entire data using this particular approach, that is select star from table name semicolon. That's it. So this is another way that you can easily select all the columns from your table. Okay, but for me personally, you don't need all the columns of your table. You only need a specific columns from your table. For that, what you have to do is there is a way to select specific columns in the table. For that, the syntax is select. For example, I only need serial number and salary from my table. So with this, we can only fetch two specific columns from your entire table. Imagine you have entire columns in your table as serial number, first name, last name, employee ID, salary. Okay, these are all the columns that you have in your table. Out of those, you only need two specific columns, that is serial number and salary from your entire table. So the above two statements, like this and this won't work here in this scenario. Only this will work here. That is selecting serial number, comma, salary from the table name. That's how you can select only specific columns from your table. Now that's all about select statements and the syntax of it. Now let's jump back to the hands-on session where you can experience the practical usage of select statements in MySQL. Okay, so before that, I just wanted to create a simple database and a simple table for only specifically for using these select statements separately. I already have many other databases and many tables, but I don't want merge this content into those already existing content. So for that purpose, I'm just creating a database. Let me magnify my screen, zoom in a little bit. Now you can see the queries here. So create database. That's how simple we can create. Now I just wanted to create emp underscore hr semicolon. That is employee and HR. Okay. So I just wanted to create this particular database. And if you press Control Enter, it has got executed. See here. Now you can see whether it has created it or not. Show databases. See, emp HR has got created. Now what you can do here, you can just use this particular database, that is use emp underscore HR. Now press Control Enter. It has got executed. Now currently we are using this emp underscore HR. Perfect. Now what we can do is we can create a new table, that is, I just wanted to create a new table, that is create table, that is emp underscore tab, or you can also create employees. Now open the braces here, and now you can uh, pass all the column names that you want to include in your table. I want to include employee ID, but before that, uh, okay, underscore ID int unsigned. Why I have used unsigned here, in the sense I don't want any sign to be entered into my database. I mean, to be entered into my table. Like, I don't want plus or minus or anything. I just want a perfect integer. So that's why I have mentioned it specifically as unsigned. Okay. Now I don't want any null values to be present in my employee ID, because when you have a null values, that is simply null or blank values in your employee ID, what does that include? What does that mean? It has no sense, right? If there is an employee ID, in the sense there is a corresponding employee who is working in so and so company. If you don't have any employee ID, what does that mean? So there is no sense in having null value. So for that reason, I'm just including not null here. This protects, or this prevents the null values to enter into my table. Now I just wanted to pass another column name, that is first name. This is a pure string, so I'm just passing varchar of 25. Now you may have a doubt like, why 25, why not the other number? Of course, you can use whatever number you want, but this is the number that I have fixed to use it. So you can use 30 or 50 or 250, 500, whatever you want, you can use. Now just press comma and go to the next line and give it another column name, that is last name, varchar 25. Now I don't want my last name to be not null. In the sense, I don't want any null values to be in my last name. Now email, this is also a varchar. Now I want the length to be 25. and it should also be not null. Now, when it comes to phone number, this is also a varchar. 25, comma. Now, hired date or hire date, hire underscore date, date, not null. Here, when we say hire date, in the sense the date on which he was hired, the employee was hired. So for that, I have just created a column name that is hire underscore date, and this data type should be is of date type. So that's why I have mentioned date instead of varchar. Okay. Now I don't want any null values to be inside this column, so that's why I mentioned not null. Now job underscore ID varchar of 25. After that, salary, it's a decimal one, and I want it to be 10 comma 2. Now commission percentage or commission underscore PCT, it is also a decimal, 10 comma 2. I just forgot to mention all these things should be not null, like uh, job ID and the hire date should be not null. The job ID is also not null, and salary to be not null. Okay. Commission can also be null. Of course, there would be null values. Now, manager underscore ID, it is when you say ID, it is of number. I don't want it to be uh, signed, so that's why I'm mentioning it as unsigned. Now, department underscore ID int unsigned, primary key. Finally, we have to mention the primary key. This primary key is nothing but we be it any table, we should always uh, define primary key. And when you say primary key, what are the columns that are eligible to be part of primary key? Mostly, whenever you have any unique columns or the lower level of columns, when I say lower level, see here we have department ID and manager ID. Under each department, there would be multiple employees, and under each manager, there would be multiple employees working on. So we should not consider this manager ID and or department ID as a primary key, because under each department there would be multiple employees. So this is not a unique one. Under job ID also, like job ID in the sense, like maybe that's a designation ID or some other thing, but we can't judge it here. But when you say lower level, like beyond that, there should not be any other hierarchy. So when you say employee ID, that's the least level, that is the starting step. When you join any company, you'll be getting an employee ID. So with the help of employee ID, we can identify all the employee IDs. I mean, all the employees. So this would be at the minimum level. So we can use employee ID as the primary key. Perfect. Now close the bracket. Okay, finally I have created this create table employees and all the things that I have mentioned here. I have created here. Now if I press Control Enter, it has got created. Okay, now show tables. Employees has got created. Perfect. Now we have to enter some, we have to insert some data here. Okay. So to enter the database, I mean to enter the details in the table, what we can do, we can use our traditional approach as like insert into table name, and you can provide all the columns as well as the corresponding values to it. You can do it, but I just want to do it on a bigger scale. Like I want at least 100 employees in my table. So for that reason, we can't like we can't simply just typing it here, because the length of this video would get definitely get higher when I try type it here itself. So that's the reason I have already made it for you, and this is the data related to inserting of all the details. So what you have to do is, all you have to do is just select this, or you can also just press Control A, that is select all. But doing like this just gives me so much of fun, so I'm just pressing Control C here. I have just copied it here. Now here uh, you just have to press Control V. Okay. Now the data has got pasted here. See, the entire data has got pasted. Okay. Finally, now we want to execute this thing. So the easiest option to execute this thing is just select all. Now what you have to do is just go down here like this. That's it. You can press Control Enter, or when you have selected this entire thing, you have to press this particular thunder button. If you press this, see, all the data is getting loaded here. I think all the rows has got loaded. See, all the rows has got loaded. So the entire data has got loaded here. You can check here. See, the entire data that I have inserted has already got loaded. Perfect. Now, if you can fetch all the data, that is select, let me minimize this thing. Okay, now if you select star from employees, press Control Enter, automatically you have got the data. See, this is what we want here. Okay, a total of how many rows? Here you can see 103 rows has got returned. In the sense, 103 records we have inserted into our table. Okay, so this is so insane. Now, let's do some querying. Let's do some slice and dice here. So, what do you mean by that? So, uh, the first question I would like to give you all is fetch the employee with the ID equal to 96. So this is the question that I want you all to try. Just pause the video for 2 minutes and you can easily try it. Not even, it won't take even not more than 10 seconds also. You can easily finish it within 10 seconds itself. I'm just asking you to fetch the employee, all the employees with the ID 96. So how to do it? If you don't want to see the answer, you can just pass it and you can try it out yourself. But for the video purpose, I'm just providing you the answer. Okay. So likewise, I have almost 7 questions and I'll be providing you all the 7 answers of it. Okay. Now, if you want me to fetch this particular employees with the ID, this is how I do. Select star from employees, and here you have to pass a condition, that is where which ID we have to select, employee ID underscore ID equal to 96 I want. So I press Control Enter. I have got the name is Wani, last name is Hasina, and her salary is so and so. But we don't need. I just need a person who belongs to this ID 96. So Wani is the answer. Now let me try out the second question. This question is fetch employee uh, whose name is Chris. I want an employee whose name is Chris. He has done some mistake and I want to figure it out. Who is he actually? We have n number of employees in our company, but I want him to figure it out. I want him so that I can easily find him out and I can project him before the manager. So for that, what we can do is just select star from employees. Now, where every time when I say whose name is Chris or employee ID is so and so, when I say after this thing, these are all the conditions. So we have to use where keyword. Where keyword is very much famous for mentioning any conditions that you have. Okay, so you can mention where, and when it says whose name is Chris, you have to mention where first name equal to Chris, semicolon. Now, if you press Control Enter, I have got the person. So his employee ID is 98 and he has committed some mistake. So we have finally figured it out. Now, what is the third question? That is fetch employee who was born before 1996 November 20. So I just wanted to know the employees who were born before 1996 November 20. Is it possible? Let's figure it out. So just select star from employees. Now you have to mention the where condition here, where you have to mention the height date. So you can mention where height underscore date is less than. Why? Because why we have used less than? Because here I was asking about before. I don't want any people who has born on this particular date or who was born after this. I only need the people who was born before this particular date. So that's the reason I am actually using less than. Okay. So you can mention the date here in the quotes. The date is first you have to mention 1996 and you can mention November. When you say November, that is month now 11, and you can mention the day as well. You press Control Enter. See, these are all the people. How many people are there? 72 people are there who are born uh, before 1996 November 20. See, when you just check, all these people have born before November 20, 1996. Got it? Perfect. Now let's move on to the next question. That is fetch employee from the department number 90, no, 55. So I want to fetch the employees from the department number 55. So what we can do is simply select from employees where you have to mention the condition, that is department underscore ID, department spelling, department underscore ID equal to 55 semicolon. If I press Control Enter, now I have got all the people, only 5 people are there who belongs to the department ID, that is 55. Got it? See here, only 5 people are present here from the department ID 55. Okay. So now let's jump to the another question, that is fetch employees from department 80 and 20. I want to have the employees from department 80 and 20. Now how to do that? Simply select star from employees. Here you have to mention the condition, that is here where uh, which is the ID that we have to select. Here he is asking about department ID. In the sense, we have to select this column, that is department ID. So where department underscore ID. Now he is asking, like he needs all the employees belong to 80 and 20. So when you say 80 and 20, it means you need both the employees from 80 and 20. In the sense, we can't mention simply equal to, because when I say equal to 80, I'll only be getting employees who belong to department ID 80. But instead, if I can use in operator, and if I can pass this thing, and 80 comma 20, close the brackets, semicolon, control enter. So let's try 1 and 20. I think there are no one. Let's try. So let's see here. Okay. Let's instead of 81 and 20, I can give 99 and 89. Okay. 99, 89. If I press Control Enter, see I have got all these peoples. That is almost 7 peoples I have got from department numbers 99 and 89. Because earlier I have passed 80 and 20, which means there were no people from those departments like 80 and 20. Literally, that's why we have got nothing. Now this time we have passed 99 and 89. In the sense, we have got some 7 people. These 7 people belong to department ID 99 and 89. So that's the reason. Okay. Now another question, that is fetching uh, employees whose first name is Chris or Ishan. So I want to see all the employees whose name starts with Chris or Ishan. So for that, I can press select from employees. Here, I have to pass some where condition. That is, I have to use first underscore name in. Similarly, I have to use braces. In the braces, I have to pass Chris, comma, and Ishan. Now, if you close the brackets, press Control Enter, you have got Ishan belongs to employee ID 12 and Chris belongs to the employee ID 98. So these are the 2 people whose name starts with either Chris or Ishan. So I have got both these people here. Perfect now. Now just fetch employees not from department IDs 43 and 20. That's it. So if we want to fetch all the employees who are not who doesn't belong to 43 and 20, how to write this? Select star from employees and where uh, department underscore ID not in 43 comma 20. Simple here. Here it is saying not from the department IDs 43 and 20. So employees I need belong to the all the department IDs except 43 and 20. For that reason, I have used instead of in, I have used not in. So I will get all the employees belong to all the department IDs except 43 and 20. So if I press Control Enter, see I have got some one or two rows, like one or two members who belong to all the department IDs except 43 and 20. Okay, so this is how you use a select statement, and in the next video, I'll be explaining you the further part of using select and some other commands. But there is one more important thing, like other than select, where condition can also be used in update, comma, delete statements. This is very much important. Just keep this in mind because till now we have only used where condition along with select statement, but this same where condition can also be used along with update and delete statements as well.